I'm what you would call a Nintendo fan. And no, I am not a soy boy beta male. I'm just someone who really likes the Nintendo Switch and Labo. Or is it Labo? Labor. Fucking Chinese in their sweatshops, because I don't know the difference between Chinese and Japanese. Because I don't watch anime. Anyway, I've always bought the console since the NES. Go figure. The NES has always been my favorite out of all consoles, along with my whole collection. Almost consider each game cartridge like my friend, since I never had any as a kid. One day though, I had sold all my games. All of them to some weird guy with Tourette's syndrome. He says something along the lines of ass and fuck and I'm from New Jersey. And he had a disdain for LJN. The sole reason as to why I did this is because of one particular game. You see, I was browsing Reddit one day, on a subreddit where they mostly talked about retro video games, how much they like Rick and Morty, and why their girlfriends keep sleeping with other men while they themselves secretly like it. I was a tad bit bored of reading all of this until one reply had caught my attention. It was a link to an eBay auction that had no bidders yet. The auction was for a game for the NES called the NES Remastered. The cover art has some of the most famous Nintendo characters such as Super Mario, Link, Mega Man, Simon from Castlevania, Battletoads, and the Lemmings. I was super excited. I was so excited that I felt in a rush and pushed up my fanny pack, because I hadn't sold that yet from my 90s collection. So I bid $69 for the game and I automatically won the auction. Weird, I thought, but I didn't care. I wanted to have the game in my hands. About an hour and 9 minutes later, I got the game in the mail. Not the female, but the male. Ha ha ha. I opened up the box to see the cartridge be completely different from the pictures on the website. The cartridge was completely black with red crayon writing that said, "The NES Remastered." I wasn't too mad though, since I got the game. I pulled out my NES, or NES for the illiterate, popped in the game, and pulled down my zipper. I was ready to have a fun experience. The first thing that happened was a title screen with music that sounded like an 8-bit version of the Toy Story theme song. I was a little surprised by this, but then again, this could have been a bootleg that was remodeled. There was a cutscene that showed Woody the cowboy standing next to Andy's bed. It showed Woody's pixelated 8-bit cock on the screen. I was so disgusted that I had thrown up the Taco Bell and popcorn that I had eaten earlier. Yeah, I still swipe that shit from trash cans. The game got to a level where I had to play as Woody, who was wielding an oversized knife. I was running around the bedroom holding the knife until I was sent to a part where I landed on Andy's bed and there was a text box that had two options, cut or kill. I was scared of what would happen if I picked cut, so I picked kill, because that's just how my brain works. What happened next was an animation of Woody stabbing Andy in the gut, causing all of the toys that were probably shoved up his ass for pleasure to fall out. Woody then swung the knife at them and proceeded to tell them his plan. He says, "Listen here, boys. We have ourselves an NES cartridge in this bedroom and we have to find it before the FBI comes in and finds it before us." The next level involved looking for the NES cartridge. I had found it under the bed, covered in jizz stains and chalk. Flashbacks. I was even more grossed out by this, but continued on. Woody said, "Now it's time to go digital." Woody had jumped into the TV screen to show the opening screen to Mega Man 2. When the opening was over, it shows Woody walking up behind Mega Man and pushing him off the building. He laughed and laughed as Mega Man splattered all over the ground, causing civilians to scream. I clicked start reluctantly as I had 8 options for Robot Masters to play against. Only difference was that there wasn't any Robot Masters at all. It was other NES games being placed in. There was Mario, Link, Simon, Double Dragon, Battletoads, Contra, Metal Gear, and for some odd reason, Droopy Dog. I picked Super Mario for the lulz when I was greeted with a red sky and multiple enemies such as Goombas, Goopas, and plants dead on the ground. It was horrific until the end of the level. I was about to slide down the flagpole when I, playing as Woody, landed onto the pole dick first. I fell down to the ground when I saw the game over screen. Then the entire NES cartridge exploded, setting my house on fire. I could have sworn I heard Spider-Man's theme song playing in the background as all this was happening. The fire department and police had arrived to the scene and asked what happened. I told them about what happened, and then they looked at each other, laughed, and proceeded to beat me up and tell me to go fuck myself. I was upset about this. Anyway, the next month I had gotten a new house, and there was a letter on my door from my girlfriend which said, "Dear Leopold, I have left you for LaShawn. Also, your Nintendo Switch is on your welcome mat." I was heartbroken, but still happy my Nintendo Switch was still intact. I went inside to play it when I heard a knock on my door. There was no one there, but there was this one game disc for my cartridge which said, "The NES Remastered, Lizard Edition." And then my eyes became slivered like almonds. It also turns out that this is one of the 20 games that Nintendo is going to have for their subscription service on the Switch. Oh boy.